Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for a very exciting LEGO build. First of all, happy December. I'm going to try and get this out as quick as I can. I actually was sent this a few days early from LEGO. I ordered it during the VIP event along with Santa's sleigh, the Christmas tree, and some stuff like that to primarily get the gifts with purchases, but I figured, you know what, this is coming out in December instead of originally they thought January, so I figured, you know what, triple points, might as well buy this while I can. And I saw online that a lot of people were getting it early just because they didn't see it as a pre-order. They saw it as, well, you bought it, we're sending it. And thankfully, I did get this a few days early. Now, I definitely won't be posting it early. At the very earliest I'm going to be doing this will be December 1st or December 2nd, which is release date. I'm not messing with getting items early and spoiling anything. I know the reviews are out there, but I'm still very hesitant anytime I find something before a release date, doing a review or anything like that. So I'm going to respect the release date on this one. So as of recording this, yes, happy December. I'm recording this a little bit earlier. This is the brand new Modular Museum. It was leaked a few months ago, and along with, I believe, like a school and a hospital, this is usually one of the most requested things every year for the actual modular building line. Now, this one is much larger and it is more expensive. So the average modular building ranges between $200 for like the police station, and then anywhere from $230 for the jazz club and the boutique hotel, up to this guy here and Assembly Square, which is $300. The biggest difference, instead of having one base plate, which is 10 by 10, this is a base plate and a half, again, similar to Assembly Square. So this actually does have a much larger footprint, and it's different. It's going to be a lot different for people to actually put this in their city, because it's no longer, you can have, like I have in my city, 4 blocks, essentially 4 base plates. You're going to actually have to separate that and make some modifications. So this is going to be different. The assembly cart or the Assembly Square, again, similar to this, has been in my cart like 15 times. It is retiring at the end of this month, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to be getting it or not. I want to, I really do, but having essentially 3 base plates for 2 buildings is going to be tough for me to work in. And I'm like, looking at, while I'm saying this, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it. So not 100% sure yet if I'm doing that or not. I'm going to have to start adding corner buildings here soon, because like the corner garage and the Grand Emporium are both 2 of my favorites, so I'm definitely gonna have to do that soon. But yeah, so this is actually the very first new modular building I've ever got. Obviously, my bookstore, the police station, and the haunted house, Daily Bugle, anything modular that I have has obviously been bought previously or after the release date. So this is pretty cool. This is the very first one I've like been a huge city builder for. So I'm really excited to actually get my first true modular building on release day. I think that's pretty cool. And I'm one of the people who's been asking for a museum for a long time. This is basically the Museum of Natural History from New York City. It's essentially modeled after it. It's got some space gear, some dinosaurs, cherry blossom trees, some really cool stuff. It is also over 4,000 pieces, so that's pretty cool. If you're interested, the model number is 10326, and again, it comes out officially on December 1st. As of recording this, you will be able to purchase it, so long as it's not back ordered. The Avengers Tower, of course, just came out as well. I actually bought this instead of the Avengers Tower. And I know that's kind of crazy, but I wanted to save the VIP points from this purchase, and I wanted to get this overall ready and done with. And the Avengers Tower is still coming, don't get me wrong. It's still going right in my backdrop where the Daily Bugle is, but I just wasn't ready for it yet. With Christmas time, you know, $300 was hard enough, let alone 500. So I'm still banking up my points. I think I have like $200 worth of points already, all ready to go after some gifts. This and what I've been banking since, I don't even know what I spent my last points on. I think it was the Daily Bugle in-store, and then I'll probably use some for the haunted house or something afterwards. But yeah, so plenty of projects still coming to the LEGO City. I just decided to do the museum before the Avengers Tower, which 100% will be coming soon, just not today. So yeah, as of where I'm going to be putting this, I think I'm going to be doing the police station to the left, and then moving the bookshop, which is only half of a base plate, to the right where it is next to the Daily Bugle, locking this all in and going from there. Very excited to start this build. If you're new to the channel, feel free to check out the rest of my content. I upload every single day at least once, and we're about to hit a huge milestone, which I'm not announcing just yet. But it has to do with partner programs. So I'm very, very excited to finally hit the one of the first huge milestones for this channel. So thank you all so much. We've had a really strong few days. The Omni-Man videos from Invincible and Mortal Kombat have been just killing it lately, pun intended. That is now my third and fourth most watched video ever as of saying this. So very, very cool to have a lot of progress lately already. You know, December's off to a really good start, hopefully, as of doing this. So as long as we keep up that momentum, the channel's been doing a really, really great spot right now. And I look forward to adding some more stuff into the new year as well. So thank you all so much for your support. Let's get started on the build, folks. Alright everybody, and here's the final build. Overall, I would say aside from maybe the Daily Bugle, well, definitely aside from the Daily Bugle, this is my favorite building I've ever added to the city. The haunted house and the police station are both amazing, but this is awesome. I love this set absolutely. This is great. I love the color scheme. It looks incredible. The colors, the details, everything with this set I think is amazing. Some of the interior I think you could do a little bit more with, but as I wanted to do previously, Indiana Jones and Company I think will be added to the museum here pretty soon. I would love to do an area of just Indiana Jones artifacts, and I had said before I have a little like the original city museum that was in my city previously, and I'll move that to the top just so it's an extra building, but that was originally going to be turned into an Indiana Jones museum, or I wanted to do something a little bit more custom with that. However, since this obviously got announced soon after, I decided not to, so Indiana Jones will be coming to the museum in some sort of custom fashion pretty soon. As for the minifigures themselves, this one is very, very cool. I love the prosthetic leg piece. I think that is an awesome detail. Looks fantastic. It was a little bit hard to get it to stand, like get it through the actual peg hole, but nothing too worrisome there. I think that is an awesome, really different leg piece. And I don't think it's exclusive to this set as for that, like, that singular piece, but it is definitely the first one in my collection, so I definitely like that. Then we have a kid. Pretty standard. He actually would look good in the Winter Village with that sweater dip pattern. I think he would look pretty good there. So he might get put to the Winter Village instead of the museum. Haven't decided yet. Then we have a very cool window cleaner. Love the the usage of this little pipe piece. Definitely pretty cool. Nice overalls. Hat's pretty cool. Nothing too extraordinary on these minifigures. They're overall pretty basic, aside from that, the very first one. I think that is a very unique feature, and I like that a lot. Then we have an older lady here. She's going to be feeding the pigeons outside. She has a little cookie in her hand, and as you're about to see, there are some pigeons eating the identical cookie. Sure, the people are happy about that walking past. Then we have two museum workers, matching ID badges, of course, colors. This guy's holding a broom. And then the second one. Again, very similar. They're both the exact same outfits, same pants. The only difference is the face and the hair pieces for these two. And then last but not least, you have the museum caretaker himself. Pretty cool hairpiece. I like this. It very feels like a crazy scientist or like Albert Einstein or something similar to that. Checkered shirt here. Nice little bow tie. Same thing on the back. And then, of course, his little administration badge, which matches the other two. So overall, 7 minifigures, pretty solid. I would like a security guard. I think could have been tossed in. I think that would have been pretty cool, or just a little bit something different, just added to that. I mean, it's $400, so, or I'm sorry, it's $300 set. So 7 minifigures, I think could have been a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much standard across the board. As for the museum itself, I love the green sandstone. This actually matches the haunted house very, very well with that color scheme, with the brown, the gray, and that sandstone green. It actually really does match the haunted house. So I think that's pretty cool. You could probably have a lore thing where it's like they were made by the same person, and maybe I'll go that route in the future once I start building more and more into the city and doing some like actual stories and everything related to it. I love the small detail from this cherry blossom tree here, which, of course, you can move them back and forth if you want. I kind of have them all bunched up at the top. And I decided not to use all of the white pieces. I wanted it to be a little bit more transparent and not just completely covered. You can always probably add and replace them as you want, depending on, like, if you do a time of the year. That is one thing I would like to get to. And I said that before. I would love to be able to change, like, the trees and, like, weather patterns and stuff in the city. I think that'd be really cool, where like the trees will actually change as you get the fall. Maybe the leaves fall off for winter and stuff like that. Match the seasons here in Pennsylvania. But you do have some small leaves from that cherry blossom tree spread throughout, and then a couple on top that you can see as well. Huge fan of these columns. I think that is beautiful. I love the actual top way here too with these vine usage. I think that is fantastic. Little upside down heart. Two very cool pieces. The go back in time poster, which of course is an actual little poster piece, and then Explore the Future for the space exhibit inside, and then the dinosaur exhibit inside as well. You have a museum logo here. That is the only time you'll actually see the word museum, I think, present in any of the set, but I think that's pretty cool. I wish they would have done a little bit more with this backdrop here, but there are a couple peg holes in case you want to add some birds, some features. I believe I will definitely be adding some stuff to this set, like I said before, with Indiana Jones. Maybe I'll add something a little bit different up front as well. You have two small light pieces on the outside. I wish those would be a little bit different. They're like, this is a very fancy set. I just think they're a little bit plain. Again, nothing that I'm going to gripe over too hard, but just little things here and there. Then we have two statues that look absolutely great on the outside as well. Very, very cool. Two railings, plenty of peg holes for the minifigures to actually walk around. And of course, in similar modular building fashion, very just matching to all of them as they should be. And then the white lamppost as well. In the back, we have slightly different plants than you're going to see in the other buildings. In these sets, I believe for the police station, you had like large bushes outside. For here, you actually have small ferns and flowers, which is definitely pretty cool. Pretty cool difference there. Of course, the cherry blossom tree, which will look great next to the bookshop with that, the white birch tree. I actually moved to the background for that. And then up top, we have a couple small little statues as well, similar to like a little gargoyle pattern, something very, very cool. And then the fencing is, of course, all spiked going around. And then the top has silver versions of those black spikes to match. Over here, we have a couple pigeons taking down a cookie, and then a small letter that I believe this minifigure is going to be dropping to the mailbox right to her left, or right, depending on how she's sitting. And then right up here, we do have the window cleaner, which does move up and down if you ever need. That's a pretty cool feature. Definitely something different. You don't see a lot of window cleaning or like actual construction or like cleaning projects in cities. And I think that's going to be a pretty cool thing that people might look to add to their city. Like if you have a skyscraper, have like a window cleaner on there, I think that'd be a pretty cool way of showing that the city's alive and going through its processes. Nothing to show on the sides for this one, so I will skip to the back portion, which has some cool details. You have a small plant here, or I would say this is most likely a weed that is growing from the runoff from the rain gutter here. And then you, of course, have a service hatch right here, which does lead right into that staircase. A couple beautiful window pieces. They feel very similar to the Ninjago City Gardens, that walkway that was over top. And then right up here, you do have, I believe this whole thing can pop off, the curator's secret little office up here. So you have a typewriter, a map, a plant, lamp, compass, some gold statues, and like it looks like a little radiator piece or something to the side. I think that's a pretty cool little addition up there, little secret office. How the police station had like the little thief thing. I'm glad they went this route with the non-criminal activity. Then you, of course, have a small telescope for, I believe, the curator to actually observe the stars in the solar system, which is really nice detail. You can see the windows matching on each side, and then two right down here. And then it's very cool because you can like look inside and actually see the exhibits. I love that a lot. Right down here, you of course have the back door, which I decided to just break the doorknob off of. That worked out really well for me. And then right next to it has a little garbage can, and somebody accidentally threw out a dinosaur bone by the looks of it, which this dog is definitely going to try and make the best use of. There's also some clear water patterns down here, which is a pretty cool addition to like the little water runoff. I love that. Overall, the backside, I mean, there's not too much to write home about. Cool rain gutter. That wasn't even that strong, right? Cool rain gutter, neat back door. I like the little doorway here, and a cool dog figure. I'll probably move him somewhere else, have him in the dog park or something once I actually get down to that route. But yeah, overall, it is a very, very impressive piece in terms of scale. I mean, with over 4,000 pieces, you know it was going to be big, but that base plate and a half really looks awesome. I'm still deciding, as I do this review, where this is going to be going. I was mapping out like blueprints at work, because who works at work, you know? You gotta actually put your time to good use and work on Lego instructions. That's what you do. I think for now, I'm going to move the Town Hall and Grimald Place out of there, and I'm going to be putting this between the police station and bookshop. I'm going to toy around with it, see how it looks. Obviously, the Avengers Tower and the Sanctum Sanctorum are going to have to go with the Daily Bugle eventually, but for now, I'm just going to put this in its place, and that huge city overhaul will be coming in the next couple months probably, but I just don't have enough modular buildings right now to fill in. But I'm going to take this apart. We'll go floor by floor and inspect it a little bit further. I think this is going to look awesome in the city. I'm excited to have just another really like dominating building presence in there, similar to, you know, the Daily Bugle and the haunted house. What's cool about this is like you have that length. Typically with these city buildings, obviously you're going to see them going up, or they're all going to be one base plate. So even at their base, they're all going to be matching. Now, this is going to be hard if you're me to fit in eventually. So my bookshop has that half of a base plate, I believe it is, which is kind of what I'm banking on for this. So this is going to kind of take up plus the bookshop. That'll be like the two base places, so it'll work. However, with the roads, how I have them set up currently, I think it's going to be tough. So down the road, once the haunted district and once the city actually really gets that big revamp, I think I'm going to have to like dismantle this road coming this way that you see in all the builds. But I'll drone on about that once I actually put this building in. Now let's take a look at each individual floor. Alright, and here's the actual first floor. Sorry if it's a little bit shaky, I'm just going to do this with my hand instead of the tripod for this. In the background, you can see a couple dinosaur eggs in a little nest. I think that's a pretty cool addition. Of course, the tallest piece in this entire set, besides the building itself, is going to be this awesome Brachiosaurus statue with some plants on the bottom. I think that's pretty awesome. I wish it would have done like a little label for it, like you would have in an actual museum. But, you know, it happens. In the background, you can see the little staircase, and then in that little clear jar right there is some leftovers from the dinosaurs, which is the best way to put it. Right over here, you do have a small door with like the little red sign for an exit. And then off to the side, show it off the best I can from here, is going to be a dinosaur skull. And then I believe it's supposed to be like a trilobite fossil or something similar to it. This brown piece is basically just the whip from Indiana Jones, so it looks a little odd, but it's a nice little iota to Indiana Jones in this museum. Right in here, we do have a lab with a couple dinosaur bones, a microscope, and a bowl. I think that's pretty cool. Small clock on the wall. Right in here, you of course do have the bathroom. And then you can actually see some water in the toilet, a couple spare rolls of toilet paper, and a toilet paper roll next to it. You have a staircase right over here. And then moving to this section, you do have some clay pots and some actual nice little pieces in here. Railing, small display case, and then a couple stairs once more. Right over here, we have a really cool geode piece, some crystals, and some like stalagmite pieces. And then another diagram to the wall. Over here, we have a little fire display. I don't know if it's supposed to be anything more special than that, other than like these are like stone pieces or like the representation of like the first creations of man, which are like the clay bowls and fire and stuff, which is pretty cool. And then right in the original lobby, you of course have the welcome desk, and I'll turn it a little bit more so you can actually see the back and the front portion of it. You have a large magnifying glass on the wall, an actual place for the worker to stand to check people out. The little gift shop underneath has some figures, some cups, and some books. You have a little figurine that I actually added just to the register to make it look like somebody's checking out some money. And then in the background, I believe there's just supposed to be some books that they can purchase. Overall, like in most of these modular sets, the first piece is going to be the most detailed. I actually really like this one, but the second floor is actually my favorite, despite being obsessed with dinosaurs. The second floor overall is the one I like the most. This side of the room, I think definitely could be overhauled to do something a little bit more. Once this set actually gets a little bit farther in to its life and people start actually doing Bricklink orders for like an extra floor to this, I think I would love to do a third story for this build. I think that would be fantastic, and then have that be like a custom thing. Even, you know what, it'd be really cool to do like a bionicle skull or something in there. I think this has a lot of potential to be like a homage to all of the old sets that you don't see on the shelves anymore. But yeah, that is going to be the first floor. Very nice. I think they could have done a little bit more in terms of it, which is kind of a theme to the set. Just, it's really, really good. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just think it could have been a little bit more detailed in the actual thing itself. So let's go and take a look at the second floor now. All right, now here is the second and final floor of the museum. I'm sure you saw Arthur, my cat, in the background. He's very much watching me work. So right here, you do have a really cool telescope on the wall. This is going to be more of the space exhibit in here, which I think is pretty cool. Right in here, you do have a really neat railing for people to look over. I realize I don't have one back there. I don't know if there's supposed to be or not. I feel like there is, so I'll have to see if maybe I missed a piece or it just wasn't included and I didn't notice. Right over here, we do have a piece of a meteorite. You know, if you think, I do have Venom and Carnage in front of the Daily Bugle. That could be the symbiote they came in on. And then right over here, it's pretty cool. Right in this lower left-hand corner is diagrams of, like, their little rover and the original, like, Galaxy. Oh, it wasn't the Galaxy Enforcer. I totally forget what its name is. But, like, the classic spaceship they just redid. So it's pretty cool to have, like, a little IO to those here. We have a space diagram in the background symbolizing the rocket going around Earth. Very cool. We also have a rocket diagram off to the side with its actual launch bolt. I think that's very neat. And then over here, an awesome feature is going to be a diagram of the solar system. I think that's awesome. Slightly rotates, but it is very fragile, so I think that's a really nice inclusion here. And then this balcony here is actually to fit the Brachiosaurus head through because it's so large. So very, very cool. I love that. You have an old anchor on the side. And then my favorite pieces, of course, being a huge fan of Castle and Pirate and all those themes, you have the pirate hat and then below it a diagram of a pirate ship. Then up top, or I should say that's more of the Imperial ship with the pirate's wave. Then you have a forestman's cap with a forestman's hideout underneath and a castle helmet, which is a little crooked. Fix that real quick. There we go. With the diagram of, or mini diagram of the original bright yellow castle. I think that is awesome. In terms of the view from the other side, it's nothing too special. They didn't really do much just because they wanted to prioritize the walkways, of course. I even think, like, these brackets here, you can hang some stuff from. I think that would be really nice inclusion as well. Do, like, a little, like, smaller skeletons and everything related to it. But yeah, so that is going to be the second floor. As for the actual city, now I'm going to go rearrange some of these goodies here. But here is the final look at the current city. What I'm currently going to, and before I get started on that, this road here is kind of what I'm saying I'm going to have to destroy eventually, but there's Santa and company in the Winter Village. What I'm debating on doing, and what's likely going to happen in a few seconds, is I'm going to remove most of this. So Town Place, or Town Hall, Grimald Place, is going to get taken away for now. And then I'm going to probably put this in between the bookstore and the police station. Haven't entirely decided yet, but once I move those around, I'm gonna hopefully be happy where I put it, and then after that, just the next modular building, I'll just keep adding. So we're in a fun spot right now. You can see Doctor Strange hanging out right above the bookstore, and then, of course, coolest Lego set ever, the Daily Bugle. So let me get started with the city, and I'll be right back, guys. Alright, everybody, so here is the final resting spot for the museum as of now, and you'll see I did ominously park Dr. Jones's car right in front of it. Overall, I decided to leave the bookstore to the right of it, and then move the police station to the left. The roads are not perfect yet. I still haven't actually enclosed them. I've got to, I put them down right after we moved, and I just haven't actually filled all the tiles in just yet. But there's the actual color pattern between the museum and the haunted house. I think that looks pretty cool next to each other. I love it. Museum is definitely it's a big boy. But that is overall what it's going to be looking like up against the police station and then the Birch Books. And then, of course, for the actual city look, it's still a bit of a mess. I didn't put the light poles out on this side or anything like that. But that is what we are currently looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Overall, I think that's an excellent build. If you're interested in another modular building or just starting your city, I think this is a really good point overall. It's a beautiful set. It is very unique, and it's definitely a demanding presence in terms of the city. Like, yeah, obviously you're going to look at these two buildings, and, they're nearly 3 feet tall. The Avengers Tower is 3 feet tall, so obviously it doesn't have the height. It's actually, I'm trying to look at it real quick. I think it is just taller than the bookstore, but just barely, and then obviously the police station does have a few pegs on it yet, so definitely a beautiful building. I love it. This is pretty much going to be in the backdrop of almost every building and review that I do in the future, so I think that's going to be pretty cool. And it's always nice to add another like featured piece to the city. So I think it is beautiful. I love it. Thank you very much for joining me for this build and review. Let me know of the next modular building you would like to see me add to the city. I have a few in mind, but I'm having trouble deciding just yet. Look forward to me adding Indiana Jones and some custom features to this in the future. Check out the rest of the channel for video games, Legos, tour reviews, everything else that you can imagine is probably on this channel somewhere. And I'll see you next time. Happy building, folks.